Hello and welcome to Marketing Speak. I'm your host, Stephan Spencer, and today I'm so excited to have Dylan Frost with us. Dylan is one of the most well-known thought leaders in the Amazon retail space. Clients he's served have generated over $500 million in revenue on Amazon using his strategies and tactics. Dylan, it's so great to have you on the show.
I am excited to be here.
So we met at the Titans Mastermind. We were both speakers just last week. Brian, in fact, was a guest a few weeks ago on this very show, and he's just an amazing guy. I met him through Genius Network. Curious, how did you meet Brian and end up speaking for Titans?
He is a great guy. Absolutely love him. We're in another mastermind group together. And that's how I got to know him years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And then he's invited me a couple times to speak at his mastermind group, and I love it. It's a great group of people, and he always has world-class speakers. So I love being a part of it, just getting to say that I was a speaker.
Yeah, very cool. So I'd love to hear a huge win, something you're very proud of that where you just crushed it in terms of an Amazon product or initiative, campaign, client engagements, something that really stands out in your mind?
Yeah, there's so many. I'll do some recent ones, things that are just like top of mind that have happened very recently, because we've always got great things going on. So about a week and a half ago, we had signed a renewal with a very large client. So I'll just explain what happened, explain the whole process. So we have a particular client where what we do is we completely manage their entire Amazon sales presence, their entire Amazon everything. So we operate their seller account, we manage their Amazon sales, we do the optimization to make them as successful as possible on Amazon. So this particular brand, we were on a 1-year contract with them to start initially. We've got their product to be ranked amongst the top 300 pet products on all of Amazon, generating millions and millions of dollars in revenue per year. And so they renewed about a week and a half ago for a 3-year contract with us. Their results were so significant, we were able to basically increase their sales 140% in that year. They're very excited about that, and we see a lot of long-term growth potential. So they renewed for a 3-year contract, and it's very profitable. A 3-year contract is very profitable, so we're really excited about that. For us, it's over $250,000 in income a year managing that client. And then some other things. So a brand that I own, a physical product brand that I own, we just crossed the $100,000 a month threshold. The new product that we just started earlier this year, and it got a lot of great traction really fast. And it's an interesting, unique product. Anyone can look it up on Amazon. Cosmic Gaming Collections. We just sell repackaged Magic the Gathering cards, and we were able, from February to now, get that up with just we did it with just 3 products. 3 products, we were able to do over $100,000 in sales per month the last few months, and it's not Q4 yet. In Q4, we expect that we can potentially do just $1 million in sales in just November and December alone with that brand. That's we're always coming up with new products, new ideas, and that's one that's been very successful, very fast.
Very cool. I just recently heard about this really big win in terms of digital collectible. So you got Magic the Gathering cards, which are physical items. This is non-fungible tokens, NFTs. That are you a Star Trek fan by chance?
I casually will say that.
Okay. Well, Captain Kirk is kind of the best captain of them all. If you're a Star Trek fan, I think you'll agree. Okay, so William Shatner was auctioning off all these digital collectibles, old photos that he had found, and the problem that you have with digital items is that it's not, how do you know that it's the original? You can't buy on auction a digital item and then see that it's available on every downloadable kind of torrent site on the internet a week later. I mean, that would suck, right? So they partnered with Wax. So William Shatner and his family, I guess, partnered with with wax, which has these non-fungible tokens and collectibles that are digital items, digital goods. And they sold out within minutes, made a lot of money. I don't remember how much, but within like 9 minutes of the auction starting, everything was sold.
I believe it. I believe it. Just start selling. It's like selling Star Trek cryptocurrency is what it is,
Yeah,
kind of the
kind
feeling
of,
that it is.
kind of. I mean, these are items that have collectible value, not just as a token, but as a curious kind of interesting little bit of trivia or something cool or quirky or whatever from his earlier years. And I'm curious if you're exploring that digital world, not just Amazon, but looking at wax or something along those lines to expand into with things like Magic the Gathering and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, fun fact: William Shatner lives just about an hour north of me. He has a home in Lexington, Kentucky, that he spends a lot of time at. So that's just interesting. But yeah, so I think that the world like that's really where a lot of things are moving to, and a lot of things are moving to. A lot of the games, Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, all the popular collectible trading card games are all very much investing heavily in digital, and their online games and their digital games, because the world is obviously changing and things. And so it would not shock me if many of these games that we've played for years moved to a primarily digital model. And as they're going to continue to innovate, I'm going to keep my ear to the ground and the pulse of it, and try to see what opportunities there are to take advantage of it. A space that is blowing up right now is also sports cards. It's always been a thing. It's always been in the ethos. It's always been relatively popular, but this year has been like the best year for sports cards in a really, really long time. So that's something that we are also pivoting into and we're going to start selling sports cards, getting into that. That's doing extremely well right now. That's a big hot space.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, there was another campaign that I know that Wax did with, it was Garbage Pail Kids. You remember those cards from
Yep.
way
Mm-hmm.
back when? So they had a digital equivalent of those collectible cards, and those sold out within hours or minutes even as well. So there were limited quantities of each one, and they were all verifiable on the blockchain that was one out of 1,000 of that particular collectible card.
Yeah, it's
So
a really cool way to be able to do it. That scarcity in it, that it's really smart. It's a really intelligent way.
yeah, yeah. So I love that you are selling your own products on Amazon and working with clients, and not just doing one or the other, because then you're eating your own dog food. You're kind of iterating and inventing and experimenting with your own stuff, learning your own lessons, and then taking those learnings to your clients. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've sold on Amazon every possible way that there is to sell on Amazon. I can take you through a quick run through of it. The way that we got started selling on Amazon actually is kind of funny. It was a process called retail arbitrage about 11 years ago. It's where you go to a store, like what we were primarily doing to start was we would go to Walmart, our local Walmart, we go to the clearance aisle, and Walmart clearance is absolute, meaning they just keep lowering the price until it's gone. And so there are sometimes, and depending on what Walmart that you go to or you drive to, they're going to have things on the shelf that are listed for $5. But in reality, the real market price for this product online is going to be $20, $25, $30, $40. So you just buy it there at Walmart on clearance and resell it on Amazon and make a good little profit. That's how we got started. We didn't have any money. We actually got started with a $600 credit card because we had no money to be able to really start our business, and we had no credit and we had no experience. But that's how it began. We started doing that, and we were earning a real income. We scaled just basically driving around to Walmart's up to $1 million in sales per year. And that gave us a lot of initial experience with selling on Amazon. We had a real business at this point. Well, I would say a real job anyway. It was a lot of work. Then we started to transition, try to find new ways, like how can we scale this? How can we grow this significantly? That turned into the next phase where we were doing liquidation. And so at that time, this was many years ago, about around 2012, Sears and Roebuck stores, Sears stores all over the United States were closing, and they were liquidating the stores. So we would make offers on the closing stores to buy all their inventory. And Kmart's and Sears stores were closing. So we would just make an offer like, we'll buy the entire store's inventory. And we would make offers like, we'll buy the whole store for $30,000. And they would say, okay. So it was crazy. We were able to just buy tons of product, great product that for pennies on the dollar, and resell it. So we scaled up through that. So that was more of a liquidation model. And then we transitioned again to doing wholesale and private label. So when I say wholesale, what I mean is we would identify existing brands and buy and resell their products on Amazon. And then private label, we would create some of our own brands and products and sell those and make those successful on Amazon. And then did that for a number of years and very, very successful at that. And then we transitioned now to where we are, where our primary business, and through all of the years of experience, all the millions and millions of dollars in sales that we were able to generate, and all the different ways and how we understand Amazon so well, now we do a lot of consulting or management for brands. So existing brands, we completely manage and run their Amazon operations for them and help ensure their success on the world's most important and largest marketplace.
Yep, and the number 3 search engine after Google and YouTube.
yeah, it's a thing that a lot of people don't know or don't really think about. In the United States, at least, your number 1 search engine is obviously Google. But a funny part about that is, what's the number 1 result for Google? And it's generally Amazon. You Google anything, usually the first or the second result is Amazon. Your second most popular search engine is YouTube search engine, and then your third is Amazon.
Yeah.
And what I like to tell people is, and explain to people, is Amazon's the only one where 100% of people that are using that search engine are doing so like this. Hold on.
With their wallet.
Their wallet in their hand, ready to buy something. So it's people, that's the place where you want to be. You want to get your products in front of people that have their wallet open and they're ready to buy. And Amazon is unique to where that's how all of the traffic there is and how all of them are behaving.
Yeah.
Buyer
intent.
Place.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. It makes it a lot easier. It makes it a lot easier to sell products to your client, to your prospect, when they're wanting to buy product.
Yeah, for sure. So you went through these different phases, and at what point did you say we need to make this kind of a consultancy or an agency or service provider type situation instead of just doing our own stuff?
So we got to the point where, and I don't want to sound conceited, but it's like we got so good at selling on Amazon and so good at taking any product and making it successful based on all of our knowledge and what to do. We basically looked at the landscape. It's like, okay, how many other people know what we know and can do what we do? And we looked around at our competition on Amazon and everyone else, and the answer is almost nobody. The majority of people selling on Amazon, selling their own brands or their own products, or letting other people manage their brands and sell using retailers to sell their products, so on and so forth. Everyone is doing such a poor job, poorly optimized, that we just identified the opportunity is like, really, we can take what we know and replicate it and help so many different companies and brands, and they need this. We think that there's just a great opportunity to start doing that, and it has absolutely been true.
Do you take a piece of the action, or you just charge flat fees?
Yeah. So what we do, generally we try to work with just clients where there's a lot of great alignment, where we guarantee success with our clients. We guarantee success, and to do that, it has to be in great alignment. So it has to be something that we feel very strongly about, and we take a percentage of sales, a small percentage of sales. So the client is only paying us when we're making the money. So yeah.
Gotcha. Now, why is it that most Amazon sellers are so darn secretive about the products that they're selling? It just seems so bizarre to me. But, I'm not an Amazon seller, so I don't know that world, and I don't know what it feels like to get ripped off when you just in passing mention a cool product that you just launched, I don't know, at a bar or cocktail reception at an event and then get it knocked off the week later. So
Yeah, so I'm definitely not one of those people. I don't care to tell people, like, just like at the beginning of this, I didn't care to explain, like, one of our private label products is Cosmic Gaming Collections. Go ahead and look it up. So I have a different perspective. So a lot of people are secretive, and I think that the reason for that is because they believe that they have this product that it's unique, or it's fit into this little niche, and they're afraid if they tell other people about it, they'll have more competition. I've never operated our business that way, and have never worried about competition coming in. The way that I view business really in general is not that I'm trying to dodge competition or I'm afraid of competition. I actually think that's a terrible, very poor mindset that just sets you up for failure. The way that we operate our business, the way that we try to operate for our clients too, that we represent, is we want to crush competition. We just want to be so good that I don't care who comes into the marketplace. They're never going to be able to compete with us. We're going to do such a better job than them. That's how you really succeed in business. It's not by constantly trying to dodge competition, being afraid of competition. It's just by being better than the competition, right? In a capitalistic world, in a capitalistic society, what is capitalism totally based on? And it's the concept of competition. Competition is what ensures that capitalism is supposed to work. And so if you're trying to avoid it, you're trying to avoid capitalism, and it's just not possible in the society that we live in. Whether you love it or you hate it, that's the world that we live in. So you compete. You have to be prepared to compete, and you have to be prepared to be the best. And that's, I think, what's helped to set us apart is we've had that right mindset. We just try to be better than everyone else, and instead of trying to fit in these places where we're trying to dodge competition. I don't think it's a great tactic.
Right. And are you very bullish on creating a brand inside of the Amazon ecosystem, or it's just about getting the right product dialed in with the right number and quality of reviews and the right product copy and so forth, and you could just be buying random stuff from Alibaba and reselling it and making a tidy profit?
So the answer is yes, both. Anything. So it just depends. Everything is a case by case basis. So we've done and had a lot of success in both ways, building a brand and usually, like, typically building a brand. Our focus there is an exit. So you're going to have a better multiple when you build a legitimate brand. So then when you move to want to be able to sell that brand, but there are opportunities with both. Sometimes with more commoditized kind of products, building a brand just really doesn't make sense, or it's worth more effort than you're going to get out of it. At the end, you just have to be able to know what you're looking at and identify the right kind of opportunities. Sometimes it's just easier to do those. Don't build a brand, just sell a product, because the investment in building the brand isn't worth it. And then sometimes it is. So very fluid in that. So that's a great question.
What are you leaning towards in your personal kind of portfolio of products? Is it mostly brands like Cosmic Gaming Collections? Sounds like a brand. Sounds like you invested the time and energy in branding that. So are they all brands or just some of them?
Yeah, mostly brands. Yeah, that's more like we've gotten pretty good at that. So that's where we focus on it. But sometimes we end up in other little spaces where we're not building a brand. There's just a great opportunity for us to make a product, such as cattle prods. That was one where we identified an opportunity with cattle prods. Like, this is something that we don't need to build a brand, but this is something that's needed. There's a gap in the marketplace for it. Let's sell this, and are able to do that. Yeah.
How'd you come up with cattle prods?
It's it's math, actually. So how we decide to sell products on Amazon, we use math and data that tells us everything. And it's a formula that we've used for a really long time, and it's been very successful for us, where we're just able to look at and take a certain sets of data and information on Amazon, and it basically just tells you what works or what doesn't. So we'll sell anything, and we've sold a wide variety of crazy products. Like, the jokes that I've made before are we've sold everything from Christian bookmarks to sexual lubricants and everything in between. So it doesn't matter if the math says it'll work, then we'll sell it.
And how do you what goes into the equation to determine if it's a good opportunity or not?
Yeah, so there are two great pieces of software for anyone that wants to do research with Amazon. This is valuable no matter really if you have any business that at all depends on Amazon or at all would consider Amazon as a resource. So if you have a physical product brand or if you have a book or anything. So a couple pieces of software are Jungle Scout and Helium 10. Both of those have a lot of data in them and it can report a lot of data that can be very valuable for you. So like one of those pieces of data is that both Jungle Scout and Helium 10 provide you is you can look at any product on Amazon and it can tell you how many times per month that product is selling. And it can also show you the average sales per month of that product. And it can show you so many different pieces of information. That's part of our formula that we'll take into consideration to analyze, and then we'll look at the competition, see how many other people are selling those kinds of products, how many retailers are selling that individual product that we were looking at, so on and so forth, to start identifying our opportunities. But those are two really great pieces of software that can do just about everything for you.
So that seems kind of counterintuitive that you could see your competition's number of units sold and average price and all that sort of stuff just using a tool instead of like, I don't know, breaking into their headquarters and or going through their garbage or something. Like, how does that even work? Why does Amazon allow that information to be available?
Yeah, well, so it has kind of been reverse engineered. So Amazon, when you go to an Amazon listing, if you scroll down the page, there's a spot that says Amazon bestseller rank. So it's telling you for every product, Amazon makes it public. What is the rank of this product between one and how many ever millions of products that are in a given category? So what people have done with these softwares is that they've identified, okay, if you're ranked 50,000, which means you're the 50,000th best-selling product in, let's say, the toys and game space, they've used algorithms and they've used real data to figure out what that means. How many products are you selling if you are ranked 50,000? And that's how those softwares work.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now there's a lot of terminology that's specific to Amazon. You just used one of those terms, bestseller rank. I think even they shorten that to an acronym. Amazon sellers, they call it BSR. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the other acronyms or kind of industry speak that you Amazon sellers are using?
Oh, well, it depends. I don't know how many are broadly used in other places, but the biggest ones that we use and talk about a lot are, well, when it comes to advertising, ACOS, of course, because that's an important ACOS and tacos. And then
Okay, you got to explain what those are, or at least give what the acronym is.
So ACOS is average cost of sale. Yep. So that is when you're doing Amazon advertising. So people talk about conceptually, Facebook advertising, right? Remember, once upon a time, Facebook advertising was much cheaper than it is now, and a lot of people were having a ton of success. And then it got more and more expensive, right? Mm-hmm. Facebook advertising got more and more expensive, and it changed a lot of people's strategies, the way they can use it and approach Facebook advertising. And then that's why kind of this has always been online, is there's always this new platform where advertising is cheap, or it's like the hot platform for the time for everyone to use. Once upon a time it was Google, and it became Facebook. There's been periods for YouTube, Instagram ads, so on and so forth. Well, the thing about it is, on Amazon, I believe it's the best advertising platform, and it's not even particularly close in terms of return on your investment and in terms of profitability on your investment. So we've had campaigns and this isn't possible anywhere else, mind you, but we've had campaigns selling on Amazon where our average cost of sale, ACOS, meaning like what did it actually cost you, what was your not pay per click, but what was your pay per conversion necessarily is kind of what it means. What was your cost? So we've had it where we've spent as much as $3,000 and returned $300,000 in sales. we've seen significant crazy results like that because there is so much opportunity with the way that that platform works and the way that customers behave and the way that you're serving ads to people that are already trying to buy products. And when you can identify and fit in to certain keywords or niches or spaces where many times this is very, very true very often, there's no one competing, there's no one bidding for any of those keywords. You just get all of it to yourself at a cost of basically nothing. And you can just rack up. And so I've never seen anything like it anywhere else. There's a huge opportunity with using Amazon's advertising platform when you have physical products. One of the most underutilized thing on the internet for earning money, I would imagine.
So how can somebody who has a book, like I have 3 books that I've co-authored or authored, how can I take advantage of that kind of information asymmetry, or is it really just more for regular products?
Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely just have a disclaimer is that all of my experience is with physical products, and I just have a vague understanding of books. We've never dealt with books, we never really worked with books so much, definitely heavily physical product based. But with books, advertising is a bit different and much harder, but there are ways. So I like to let people know when it comes to books and book traction on Amazon, if it's really about content. And here I'm going to give some just recommendations and some things that, as it comes to book and book content. So if you're someone who has content, if you have information marketing business or anything of that nature, you probably have a lot of content that you've developed over the years. And what you can and could do and consider is repurposing that content into small ebooks and use Kindle Direct Publishing, Amazon service where you can just post for free. You can post ebooks on Amazon. And you can so the content, micro content, macro content, doesn't matter whether it's a 5-page ebook, a 15-page ebook, a 100-page ebook. You can repurpose that content into these little books with good titles, good engaging titles, and you can post them on Amazon to try to pick up traffic. And here's the quick thing about that. So there's a little bit of a process that you want to utilize, and this you want to use a process where you create that ebook, you list it on Amazon, then you promote it to your existing audience. You promote it to your existing audience so that they go and download it. So that now you have downloads. So now Amazon is like, oh, people want this. People are downloading this. So they improve your organic search rank for that content. So now people that don't know who you are, people that you didn't drive the traffic to, are buying that ebook or downloading that ebook if you set it for free. And now you're picking up all these new leads. And you just want to make sure that your ebook has content in it, has links, what we call opt-in content, has things that are getting people to go to your website or to sign up for your newsletters or subscribe to whatever action it is that you want them to take.
Some sort of bonuses that require an email address. Yeah.
Right. Access to video training or things that they can see visually that is in that content. So now you have, and generally I recommend with the ebook content you're listing it for free or for $1 or $2. So now you have all these people that are downloading your ebook and you're using Amazon as a traffic source, and then they're ending up on your list or ending up into your programs. And so it's very easy to do. It's very simple to be able to do. You already have the content, so it's not like you have to do much. And it's a quick way to start leveraging that and using Amazon as that source. There are many, many ebooks that are getting thousands of downloads every single month on Amazon.
Right. And do you have any clients that are doing this?
Well, so we kind of do a similar process, but not with books. We do it with physical products. So we have several clients that work with us that are information marketers or celebrities or athletes or things of that nature, where they have a strong audience, a strong following, but they don't have a physical brand for themselves. They don't have their own physical product brand. So what we do is we sit down with them and we create a plan and identify what are their best physical product opportunities for you in your company and with your audience, right? And we identify what those products are, and then we compare that to what are in your space and in your niche, what are the best opportunities for selling a physical product on Amazon? What would work very well on Amazon? Then we We source out the products for them. We create their own physical product brand. We list those products on Amazon, and then this is the cycle. This is how it works. So that person now has their own physical product brand that's in strong alignment with their audience. They promote that physical product to their audience, their existing audience. Like one of our clients has an email list of over 1 million people. So they promote that physical product brand to their email list. And because these are like their raving fans, tons of people buy. They get hundreds or thousands of people that buy the product, and they leave reviews. So we're able to just launch these products from day one into the stratosphere because they get all these sales and all these reviews, which are the most important factors for ranking a product organically on Amazon. So now that product is ranked and is at the top of the charts in many places on Amazon for using that model, where we leverage their existing audience to promote their brand on the launch of it on Amazon. And so now, again, just like I was talking with the books, there are tons of people that are organically discovering that product and purchasing it, whether they knew our client or not before. There are package inserts, or there are different things that are part of the product or part of the delivery of the product that get them after. So they went in not knowing who our client was, but they bought the product because they needed this kind of product, and then it had things inside of it that got them onto the list of our client, onto the email list or to the social page or subscribe to their YouTube channel or whatever, what have you, that specific person's audience where they are. And so now, which even better, typically like when we work with information marketers, they have courses or programs or coaching services that they charge $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 for. So the process basically looks like they'll have a person who didn't know who they were find their product on Amazon and buy it, then end up on their email list and then buy their $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000 coaching program. So it's getting paid for traffic at that point. You have a successful physical product brand that's also converting people into your high-end back-end products. So really fun when we're able to work with clients on that. It's a lot of work, but a lot of success comes out of that.
Yeah, that's a great strategy, and it's so much more white hat than setting up these reviewer communities and giving them free product in exchange for writing reviews and trying to make it look natural and all that sort of nonsense. Instead, you just you're generating demand, you're giving them a place to get some value from you, and then they thank you in the form of reviews and ratings. I mean, that's just it's a win-win.
Yeah, anyone that has an existing audience, email list, or anything just has a cheat code to have a super successful brand on Amazon, because you have that audience of people that will buy, and B, leave reviews. You're basically guaranteed success with almost anything that you try to sell on Amazon. You just have to make sure you get that alignment right, and then that you do the optimization components of it right, so it continues to convert to organic traffic. But that's it. It's a real cheat code.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, I learned about this concept that I kind of filed away and never really used, but I've always had it in the back of my mind, like, I got to figure out a way to use this. May not even exist anymore, but it's this concept of perma-free. So if you had a book, let's say you made this ebook that you're describing, and you send your email list to get this ebook for free, that's only for a period of time. Amazon will not allow you to make it permanently free unless you know this little cheat code, essentially. So are you aware of this, that you can have a perma-free book permanently free?
Yeah, so the way that we used to be able to advise people to do it is like if you could list it for free on other marketplaces, and then you could report it to Amazon that it was free there. So Amazon would be like, oh, well, if it's free there, we have to be free.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the price match guarantee.
Yeah, the price match guarantee. Yeah, Amazon is real diligent about that, for good and the bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So is there a sweet spot that let's just take the ebook side of it for a minute. Is there a sweet spot in terms of pricing? I know you mentioned like free or 99 cents or $1.99. I noticed you didn't say $1 or $2 or
Yeah.
$2.50. There's very specific price points that are kind of sweet spots. Like, why is that, and what is it? What does that mean?
Yeah, so the way that it depends a little bit about like what your content is
Mm-hmm.
and what your goal is. I typically like to. I think it's usually best if you can list it for free because you're going to get the most downloads. So for the most part, if you the difference in listing it for free and listing it for, let's just say, $1 or $2 is thousands of downloads.
Right.
Like if it's listed for free, you have the possibility of having 2, 3, 4, or 5,000 downloads a month. But if you list it for $1, that's going to so significantly cut into that number of downloads. So, but of course, the people that pay are going to be a little bit higher. They're going to be more likely to be someone that can convert into a customer and that sort of thing. So it's just this interesting balancing act. But typically, I just err on the side of going for the highest volume of traffic because that's typically what we've seen is you just get so many more downloads when you list it for free that it's worth it, even though the typical prospect on average is going to be a little worse.
Gotcha. Now, I know that there's a difference in terms of, I don't know, the algorithm treats you differently if it's $1.99 versus 99 cents. If you sell that digital good, that ebook for 99 cents, you won't get as much something. I don't know what it is, if it's reach or like some sort of special treatment, as if you sold it for $1.99 or higher. Do you know anything about that?
It's typically it's not intentional. It's not an intentional part of the algorithm. It's more about the algorithm rewards sales or downloads. And generally, if you have a lower price, you're getting more sales and downloads. So you're rewarded. Like that's typically what's actually happening. It's not set up in a particular way intentionally. It's just a case of that's just how it ends up working out.
Got it. Okay. And a lot of folks who are just customers and not in the seller community don't realize this, but the buy box is this kind of coveted, I don't know, treasure that you really want to hold on to once you get it. Like, could you kind of describe that process, what it takes to be the one in the buy box versus one of those many sellers that's in the long list that nobody goes to see where else you could buy that product from?
Yeah, so let me explain the buy box. So everyone listening is probably very familiar with shopping on Amazon. So when you go on Amazon, you want to buy something, there's that little, like you go to the page, the product page, and then there's this little section over on the right where you can add it to cart, right? And that's the buy box, the little spot over there where you can click add to cart. So on an Amazon listing, they kind of work like a wiki page, right? So on any given Amazon listing, that's not a seller's listing. That is just the listing for the product. And so there may be 20 people that are selling that product that you're looking at. Well, how does Amazon determine who actually gets paid for the sale when you click add to cart? Well, that's what the buy box is for. So when you click that add to cart, there is a particular seller that has control of the buy box and they get awarded that sale. So how does Amazon determine who gets that sale? The answer is it's pretty much 99% of the time it's whoever has the lowest price. That's just the most important factor, is who has the lowest price, because that is part of Amazon's flywheel. It's the thing that they care about the most, and have always cared about the most, is having the largest selection at the lowest prices. So it's a bit more complicated than that. We don't have time to get into all of it, but really that's the majority of what anyone would need to know. Is the most important part is if you can be priced the lowest, you're going to get all the sales.
Right. And of
So
course, you have to be a seller who's doing the Amazon Prime 2-day shipping. Like
Yep.
if you're charging for shipping, you won't get that buy box.
Absolutely. I always has heavily prioritized FBA sellers or Prime sellers using the FBA program, but there's no reason that you would want to use anything else anyway.
Yeah.
The thing about using Amazon's FBA system and
Which
program for
stands for Fulfillment by Amazon.
right,
Yeah.
you're right. Instead, so like the way that let's think about eBay. It's a good way to make people when you sell something on eBay, you got to like package it and ship it to the customer and pay for shipping and all that stuff. Every time someone orders, right? It's awful. With FBA fulfillment by Amazon, like let's say that you have 2,000 products that you want. So you have 2,000 units of a product, right? Uh, you can just ship all 2,000 units at once to Amazon one time, and for every individual order, they pick, pack, and ship it to the customer, right? So it's just like you don't need a warehouse, you don't need to ship individual orders. Amazon does all that for you. And the really craziest, coolest part is the shipping to the customer. You're basically paying Amazon shipping rates. So if I wanted to ship you something, right, it would cost me if I'm in Kentucky here and I want to ship something to someone in, let's say, California, uh, it's going to cost me $7, $8, $9, $10, or potentially way more. When I an Amazon FBA, if I need to ship something to someone in California, it's going to cost like $2.50. So there's no reason you wouldn't use that Amazon FBA. It would be almost crazy not to.
Right, because they've negotiated such insane pricing with the different shippers. Well, aren't
When
they
you ship a
also a
billion
shipper?
products a year,
Aren't they?
yeah,
Aren't
when
they?
you ship
Don't
a
they have
billion
their own
products,
planes and everything too? Like they're kind of a
oh yeah,
fulfillment company, or not just
yeah.
fulfillment, but a logistics company as much as anything.
Yeah, that's been their end goal all along. Is it's just been they still do have these big contracts with UPS and you leverage UPS a lot. But I mean, it's the writing's been on the wall for years that they've just been moving more and more to where they own the entire logistics chain
Yeah.
themselves from point A to point B. So that you when you order on Amazon, an Amazon courier brings it to your house and everything.
Right. Yeah. Now, I'm really curious to hear about how these reviewer communities work because I know they're out there. I've never been in one. I know that there are a lot of fake reviews out there. You have
Yeah.
to really study the reviews to see if they're legit and not just trust that the average number of 4.9 with thousands of reviews must mean it's a good product. So how does this all work, and how are these folks gaming the system successfully against such a clever nemesis of Amazon?
Yeah, so it is a big problem. It's been a big problem for a while. Amazon's working really hard to be able to solve this and fix this. But basically, how this all got started is some really clever people recognized that social proof or Amazon reviews are very important and highly important in getting people to buy their product. Uh, Really big part of conversion, right? Of the quantity of reviews and the quality of reviews. And this is absolutely true. It's one of the most important influencing factors for people buying something on Amazon. So these clever, crafty sellers started devising these ways. Well, if I can just sell way more product if I can just get way more reviews. So they started creating these Facebook groups or these communities where basically they would get all these people together and incentivize them. Hey, I'll give you a 90% off of this product if you'll buy it and leave a review, or or buy it at full price and after you've bought it and show me your receipt, I'll send you whatever $20 PayPal if you leave a positive review. So there was just this explosion on Amazon some years back of all these what are effectively fake reviews, people leaving a review just so that they could get free product of the for some free product. So of course their reviews weren't very authentic. They were just leaving good ones so that they could get the product for free. And Amazon's worked really hard to try to put in more and more policies and be more aggressive in preventing that from happening. So their algorithm and their bots now search the content and the types of things that have been said in a review and will just remove them or delete them if they feel like that it was not authentic. They're being more aggressive with trying to suspend and ban sellers who use these practices because it now very clearly violates Amazon's terms of service. And it's just something that it was always very black hat. But Amazon is actually working hard. Just the other day, I did see that they removed something like 20,000 reviews that they determined fake. And then there are some software that just as a buyer of products on Amazon to make sure. There are a few browser extensions and a few software that you can download. The names of these escape me at the time right now. That can just it will instantly analyze the reviews and the contents of the reviews to see if they seem authentic or not, so that it can help you in your buying process.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, well, we'll have to. I'll make a note here to find out what some of those are. You could do a Google search after, and then we'll include that in the show notes. So folks, go to the show notes for this episode to see what some of those cool tools are.
I think Fake Spot is one of them. Fake Spot.
Okay, that's awesome. And then Honey is a tool that a lot of consumers use. I don't know if that's specific to Amazon or it's just for online shopping in general, but
yeah,
I don't use it, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, there's no reason not to use Honey. It is just free money.
Awesome. And so if somebody is listening to this thinking, well, I'm not selling on Amazon, maybe I should be, maybe I should figure out what products to sell and then get some prototypes or buy some stuff from Alibaba or whatever from China and bring it in and ship it to the Amazon warehouse and start selling this stuff. What are their next steps? How do they move forward? I'm imagining that they would want to take an online course or get like an Amazon coach or something. You're very selective about who you work with, so it's mostly the bigger sellers. But yeah, what would be for the smaller guy, and then for the bigger entity, they would just contact you, I'm guessing. So just walk us through the next step process.
Yeah, so if you're interested in, you don't have any kind of physical products at all, but you're interested in potentially getting into this whole world of selling physical products on Amazon, there are really two ways that I would recommend that you can get into it. It's either private label or wholesale. If you're interested in private label, there are two great, pretty much free programs, free resources that you can use to learn about how to get started. And it's the same two things that I mentioned earlier. Jungle Scout and Helium 10, they both have basically free courses that go along with their software to teach you how to get started doing private label. The other is wholesale, which I have a program that teaches that, and that's thewholesaleformula.com. You can learn more about us at thewholesaleformula.com, where we teach the wholesale model, our reverse sourcing wholesale model, where what we do in that model is we identify existing successful selling products on Amazon, and then we reach out to those brands to become one of their authorized Amazon retailers. And then we buy their products wholesale and resell them on Amazon as an approved authorized vendor of their products on Amazon. So that's the wholesale model. And then if there's anyone that's listening, you already have your own physical product brand, and you want to take control, get better results of that brand when it comes to Amazon. My firm guarantee we'd analyze and audit your brand. So we don't work with everybody. It just has to be something that makes sense for us. We can analyze and audit your brand, and we'll guarantee your results if we decide that we would want to work with you and go into a management solution or consulting solution with you. And that you can, if that is at all interesting to anyone, they can reach out to me at Dylan, that's Dylan, at spotlightbrandservices.com, or our website is spotlightbrandservices.com.
Awesome. Well, this was just really fascinating and a lot of fun and illuminating. Thank you so much, Dylan. And thank you for being so just open and transparent about your results and what you've been selling and what's worked and what hasn't. It's been just really refreshing. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks.
And thank you, listener. Now take some action. We'll catch you on the next episode. This is Stephan Spencer signing off.